Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is planning a last minute vacation. Well, I'm in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and I'm from the US. I'm from the Midwest. Playa del Carmen, Mexico is tremendously different than where I'm from in the US. It's kind of early April 2019 as I'm talking here, and I'm kind of like a little bit of a spring break for myself. And then I quit one job and I'm starting my dream job next week. So I'm in this like gap, like the transition. I've got to talk about the goals and the transition, but I'm transitioning myself by taking a little trip. This Playa del Carmen. I've heard about this many years ago, and I've wanted to go for years. And uh, other people I've known have gone and just loved it and raved about it. So I thought, well, I better go while I have a chance. Uh, so I just planned this at the last minute. I mean, I kind of knew I wanted to go. Don't get me wrong. I knew I wanted to go to Playa del Carmen. I knew, where it is and what it's about and what might I expect. And I knew some of the basics, but I didn't do any of the major planning until the night before I left. So the night before I left, I worked a long day at work, very long, very hard, because my plan was to not come back the next day or at all because my dream job is coming. But I got home and I ran some errands, and there was something that happened to me right after work. A person I knew I ran into while I was kind of still in that transition time of thinking, well, should I go or should I not go? And he kind of, the conversation led me to say, yeah, I'm going to go. I'll make a video about that, no doubt about that. But, so I ran home. This was like 5:30 at night. Started making my dinner, started doing the laundry, started doing other things, and I booked my flight. And I wanted to go on one airline because they usually have the good deals from where I like to fly from. So I went through all the steps, and then for some reason it didn't work, right? I think, well, maybe it's the last minute, it won't work. So then I went to a different airline to see what they had to offer and started putting it in. And then in the meanwhile, something happened to my computer. I had to reboot, all this annoyance. So it's taken some hours to do this. So I go back to the original, and I did get the flight booked there and back. And you'll find that if you're willing to spend some money, you'll be able to book a flight in a short amount of time. And then I went to the website where I like to book my hotel rooms, because they usually will have some deals, and they'll usually give you some free nights if you stay longer. So I went right to them instead of always trying something new. Sometimes it's easier to use the stuff that you already use. At least that's what I find. I booked my hotel room. I knew what. So I had them both open. The hotels, I was making sure the hotels were available. I was making sure the flights were available. Then finally, it was apparent, after a few hours of this, that I could get the flight and then I get the hotel. I booked the flight. As soon as that's confirmed, I booked the hotel. As soon as that's confirmed, I start packing. Right? This is a few hours of effort online trying to figure all this out. And so that's all it took to get that all together. Another hour or so to pack. I had to do laundry, had to do some other things, kind of prepping, and I decided to go. I had decided to go, of course, but I mean, I did this all from maybe 5:30 p.m. until everything was went to bed at 10:30 p.m. 5 hours to book a flight and get a hotel and do the laundry, get prepped, and what I had done earlier than 5:30 was go to the bank and get money. Well, you need money when you travel. I wanted some cash. And then there was the calls to the credit cards and the cell phone to tell them, well, I'm going to be out of the country. Is it going to be okay? I want to use my cards, I want to use my phone. And they saw, yeah, it's all good, but I needed to do that effort. Then I, contacted all the family and the friends so they know I'm going in case there's a problem, which I doubt that there'll be a problem, but you like to tell people what you're up to. Then I tried to sleep, but truthfully I didn't sleep at all that night. That was Thursday night. So I wanted to get up at 1 in the morning because I wanted to leave by 2 to get to the airport because the flight was leaving early, and I had to drive to the city where the planes were. So yeah, didn't sleep at all. But when you're well rested in general, you can probably get by. You can lose a night of sleep once in a while for a good reason, and the excitement and the motivation will keep you going. So like when I drove down there, 1.5-hour drive to the airport, I wasn't tired at all, right? I was super jacked, super excited, super happy to be doing this. Got to the airport, everything was smooth. Got on the plane, everything was fine. The only thing that wasn't really a little bit uncomfortable is the plane seats are always a little small, and I'm a bigger guy, and it's a little bit unpleasant. So there's that. It would help to be a little smaller for traveling. The smaller people have it easier. They don't set up the planes for big guys like me and you. So I got to the Cancun, Mexico, and then get the ride to the next city, Playa del Carmen, and yeah, it all kind of worked out together. I'm having a very nice time here. It's very relaxing. I'm just trying to put some of the bad things that have happened to me in my previous job behind me, and they're not terrible things. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not as terrible as my marriage was. It's just I want my life to be a certain way, and I'm demanding that it be so. And then if something is in it that doesn't allow me to have that kind of a good life, that dream life, then I'm going to shed it. I'm not going to wait years. In this case, I've waited. I've only been in this stagnant, frustrating situation for 9 months. And maybe not quite 9 months. The first few months I was at the job, I was excited about it. I was hoping it would be a very good situation for me. But after a few months, it quickly, I found out, it's just not right. So I started that process of getting that different job. So anyway, it is possible to plan a quick vacation. Now, I was already set. I had my passport. I've got a nice traveling bag. I've got a good backpack. You get the credit cards with credit available, cash. You got the right kind of clothes for traveling. And for me, yeah, there's just the normal clothes that I look the best in, feel the best in, and there's not anything special about the travel clothes, I don't think. You got your normal personal items that you need, so you should always have that ready. I'm always ready for a weekend trip, around my home. So traveling 4 hours by plane, a few thousand miles away, well, that's really not that big of a deal, especially if you're going to a place that's well known for ease of travel. So give that idea some thought. You can plan a last minute trip. I would just argue, kind of have your life set up to be open to some travel, and set your life up, have things kind of ready, have your life kind of under control most of the time, so you can just take those trips, have some fun. We don't have that much time left, us, right? The death is coming for us, the cancer is coming for us, the end of the times are coming. We've got to have some fun now, and that's what I'm doing. And that's what you should do too. All for now.